Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Lizzie and this is Bombadil's Bookish Things. Now this looks like a bit of a crazy setup but I have painted some Jenga blocks because, as you know, I had an unexpected adventure TBR that I started last year, TBR Game. But it was just too much effort. I had to make like maps and stuff. So instead, Jenga. I feel like this will be the TBR towers, and each of these blocks, so I've got yellow, blue, reds and green, and also plain. So the greens are elves and these will correspond to different prompts. White is orcs, blue are hobbits, red are men, and yellow are dwarves. So it's still Lord of the Rings themed, just slightly less difficult. So should we get to it? Should we try it? Why not? I don't know if this is gonna work. I literally painted these last night, so if they don't come out or they get stuck, then that's a problem. One more thing. So we're playing it within Jenga rules. So the top three cannot be touched. So 1, 2, 3. These 3 bits of the Jenga cannot be touched, the top 3 rows, because that's the rules of Jenga, if you didn't know. And if the tower falls over, basically that will be a punishment, and that is my friends can pick whatever book they want from my TBR for me to read. This could be 1,000 pages, it could be whatever. So, shall we just get into it? I'm scared. I'm going to be picking 5, and then I've got one, and I've got a couple of other books I will be mentioning that I will be trying to read as well. So, welcome to January's TBR Towers. So, I think I'm going to start off with, I'm trying to think which would be the easiest one. Right, so I've got an orc one, which I'm going to pick this prompt. So this is an adventure book. So I'll have to find one that is an adventure book. I'm going to put my ones down there. Okay, let's not go for another pale one. I think I'm going to go for a red one if I can get one out, or a yellow one. They're very tough to get out. So I've got a red one, which is men. So I picked the top one from men. Oh, an unfortunate death. That's going to be really difficult. I may have to ask my friends for some advice for that one. Let's see. I kind of want a yellow, you know. Oh, God. Okay, no, we're going for another pale one, because the other ones are sticky. It's another orc. So I've got 3, I've got 2 more to pull. I just picked up 2 more. Book about secrets. I think I know what I'm going to do there. I really want to get a yellow. I think the problem I'm having. Well, that is an automatic failure. But I am taking this yellow. So my friends can pick whatever book they want for me to read. Great. That was number 4. So let me just rebuild from like here, I guess. But I think the trouble I'm having is that these are like properly stuck in, which isn't what I wanted at all. But I think it was probably inevitable. Anyone on the floor, I'm not going to count. Basically, for this round, it is what it is. But they're just kind of not as like easily to take out. So, okay. We live and we learn. We live and we learn. Got to be more careful. That's okay. What colour have I not got? I haven't got green or blue. I'm not even convinced I'm going to be able to get a green or a blue. I will pick up the ones that are on the floor. Right, let's try and get, I've got a yellow to pick. Okay, grey cover, easy. Okay, so I want a blue one, I think, and I'm going to go for the one that's back here. This is actually really difficult. Woo! Blue. Hobbits. An old school favourite. Okay, so I have my 5 prompts. I also have my punishment because the flipping thing fell already. That's fine. And let me go and pick some books. I'm really annoyed that it fell. Gosh darn it. Okay, so that went pretty poorly, but it was just January. We'll see what next month, how well I do then. But I'm going to go now through the prompts, what I've chosen for the prompts, and a couple of the extra books I'm hoping to read in January. So the first pick I have is for Total Bollocks Book Club, and the prompt is a quick read. So The Price Guide to the Occult by Leslie Walton. I've had this for a while. It's like quite big writing, and I think it's just under 300 pages. Yeah, it's 278 pages. I think this will be witchy. I think it's going to be really fun. So this is going to be my quick read pick for Total Bollocks. I'm also going to be buddy reading a few things this month. I've got Once Upon a Broken Heart by Stephanie Garber. This one I'll be buddy reading with Celine and Amena. However, this is also one of these books will self-destruct in 12 months if I don't read them. So let's see if I get one of these read. And it's the Pretty Fairy edition. We love this. This is set in the same world as Caraval. I don't like Caraval very much. I DNF'd this series. I only read book 1. And I think this follows the Jack of Hearts and deals and Fae and all that fun stuff. So I'm not super hyped, but I have heard that this is better than Caraval, so maybe I am, who knows. I'm also part of the Don't Forget Your Towel along, which is linked down below, and we're starting with the first book in January, which is Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy by Douglas Adams. Obviously it's the whole series, but we're starting with book number 1 in January, which I'm very excited for. I have read this before. It's really short, and from what I remember, this is going to be a reread for me for the first book. Adams is really, really funny, so can't wait. Oh, so this follows Arthur Dent. Yes, Arthur Dent. And he is the quintessential middle-aged Englishman. And he finds himself hitchhiking across the galaxy with his alien friend Ford. And I'm really excited to reread this, basically, and the film is great. The most important thing about Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy is don't forget your towel. So, very excited. All that information is linked down below as well. Editing Lizzie here, just popping in to say that I'm also taking part in the YA book club started by Amy McCaw, and we will be reading Frozen Charlotte by Alex Bell, and I have no idea what that book is about other than it's creepy dolls. So that should be fun. I don't own the book yet, but hopefully Hannah will be able to get it in for me from Waypoint. So just thought I'd mention it. So let's get into what my prompts were from my Tumbling Towers. So the first one, well, I don't know, it's not going to be in any order, but I pulled a book about secrets, which is an orc prompt, and I am going to choose To All the Boys I've Loved Before by Jenny Han. I was supposed to read this, I think, in December or January. Yes, I was supposed to read this. It might be November or even last month, but I didn't get to it. So this is going to be my January pick for a book about secrets. This is about a girl called Lara Jean, and she really fancies her next door neighbour, and instead of confronting that, a load of her letters got sent out, and to still confront her childhood secrets, she manages to get someone into a fake dating scenario, and I guess they fall in love. I don't know, I haven't read the book before, but I've seen the Netflix film. So I am both very excited to read this and absolutely terrified. This is Hannah's copy, so thanks Hannah for letting me bring it off your shelf. But I am a little bit scared. So next up was the other orc pick I had, and I had an adventure book, orc, and I've chosen, this one I'm also really scared about, The Assassin's Apprentice by Robin Hobb. Hobb is obviously a very prolific female fantasy writer, and I'm terrified. I know that this follows a young boy called Fitz, and he's a fool. I have no idea. But I assume there's going to be assassins and montage scenes. I also know that the audiobook isn't it, so it also makes me nervous because I won't be able to audiobook it. But I do think it fits for adventure, because adventure and fantasy go hand in hand. So we will see. The next one I have is Tension or Tense Plot. I have gone with House of Hollow by Crystal Sutherland. I feel like there will be some tension. I know that this is a horror thriller, and I feel like anything that's within that genre will have some sort of tension. Otherwise, is it really a horror or a thriller? If it doesn't, I don't know. Tell me if I'm wrong about this one, but this would be what I'm using to fill the prompt. So this follows a group of sisters, and they all go missing, and then they turn up, I think, and then one of them goes missing again, and they have to figure out what's going on again. If that makes sense. I don't know if it makes sense. Then next up was the men prompt, which was an unfortunate death. Now this one, I really don't know, because I go into things blind. But I am going to be picking up Foul Lady Fortune by Chloe Gong. This is in the, I think this is like a branch off from these Violent Delights, and I feel like there might be an unfortunate death in this, because this follows Rosalind and her adventures. I'm not going to say too much, because if you haven't read these Violent Delights by Chloe Gong, you really should have by now, so I'm not going to say too much about this other than it's about Rosalind, and I'm so excited. So excited. I love Chloe Gong's writing, so can't wait to jump back in. Next up is the dwarf prompt that I pulled, which was grey cover. Now I'm technically cheating a little bit, only a little bit, but it's not cheating, it's my game. And that was grey cover. So I've got grey on the cover, but I'm going to be reading River of Ashes by Alexandra Weiss and Lucas Astor. This was the Twisted Retreat October book pick, horror box pick. And I really want to read this. So it follows I don't know. Okay, so this is, I think, going to be about high school teens, and they'll be falling in love, but one of them is not as they seem. It's set by a river, and it's going to be spooky dooky. Why did I say spooky dooky? It's going to be really spooky, so I'm really excited to read this. The cover is amazing, the face is grey, so I'm counting it as a grey cover, or as close as I can get. Next up was my Hobbit pick, and I got old school favourites. So I'm going to be doing another buddy read this month of the Morganville Vampire series. Now I have these on ebook on my Kindle because they're on Scribd. So I'll be reading these through Scribd, but this basically follows it's a reread for me. I've read all of the Morganville Vampire series, I love them, but it follows Claire, and she gets to university or college basically really early when she's 16. And it's in Texas, and she visits this town. No, she doesn't visit this town. Where her university is located in Morganville, and it is a town run by vampires, and I'm so excited. It was my favourite vampire series as a teenager, so I'm really excited to see what I feel about it reading it as an adult, and if it holds up. So I'll be reading this with Amy McCaw and Hannah over at LOTR, and it's going to be a really good time. So, happy days. Now, as you saw, the tower fell, which the thing I was worried about when I made this game was that the blocks for the Jenga were going to stick, and lo and behold, they stuck. So the tower fell when I was trying to pull out one. So I had two friends on Discord pick me out 2 books because they were both there. It was only seemed fair. Celine picked La Belle Sauvage, which is the first book in the Book of Dust series by Philip Pullman. But this is a really stunning edition. But essentially, this is the precursor to the prequel to His Dark Materials. So I know nothing about these books, just that they're pretty chunky, and getting the hardbacks of them was an absolute ball ache. So yeah, I don't really know, but I'm excited to get into this. Obviously, His Dark Materials is about a world full of demons and parallel universes. There are angels involved, there are monsters involved, and there are some really crazy people involved. So I'm hoping, if it's like Northern Lights, which is the first book, which I really enjoyed, we'll get on. If it's like the frickin' Subtle Knife, which is the 3rd book, we're not going to get on at all. I think it's the 3rd book. I can never remember if no, Subtle Knife is book 2. If it's about the Amber Spyglass, which is book 3, then we're probably not going to get on because, I can't even get past chapter 1 on my reread of the Amber Spyglass, so it gets far too into theology for me. But this is the book that Celine picked for me. My other lovely friend Amena was also there, so she has picked for me These Hollow Vows by Lexi Ryan, and all I know is that this is like ACOTAR, but like a little bit washed down. So if it's fairy porn, then it's going to be a great fun time. We're going to have a good time with this one. I think it's going to be low stakes. We'll see. I haven't got book 2, so I don't know. This looks interesting. Anyway, let me know down in the comments down below if you're starting a TBR game or what you're going to start off January with, because I know that I'm going to be starting off, where the hell have I put it? that's the other thing. My first read of January 2023 is going to be Fairy Tale by Stephen King. I picked this up at Blackwell's literally yesterday, but I've heard so many good things about this. Again, Stephen King and I have had a past where I haven't liked one of his books, but I love the other. And my friend Celine has read this, and I'm going to be trying to buddy read this with my lovely friend Autumn. So we'll see how it goes. That was the last book I needed to mention, and I just didn't. So let me know what you're starting off in January, and let me know down in the comments down below. Let me know which books you have or haven't read and how you think I'm going to like them. If you could like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in my next video, and Happy New Year!